Hey there guys, what's up? It's your buddy mikeyperion here, and I hope you have a great day because for today we are now at episode 9 of our iCraft season 5, and now we're trying to gather some of these squid eggs for our dark prismarine needs. And of course, you know me guys, I like dark prismarines, right? And these rounds are somehow been actually quite helpful recently because, well, I got a trident yesterday, which is pretty awesome, and I already have put a riptide tree on it, and earlier I also got another one. Well, it's totally awesome, right? Well, it's been a long time since the last time we had one of these tridents, and it's actually my first time to have this riptide trident, which is I'm actually excited to show you guys on how this will actually work on us. Well, it's kind of failure though. Let's try it again and even more times of trying to fly. I think it's just because of my internet connection. Well, that's why maybe we're having this horrible lag of trying to fly, and it's actually weird, right? That's what actually my expectations of flying, but I think it's just because we're lagging because of my internet connection. So maybe we should try it again. So let's try another one. And I think we're still on the flight mode, so that's why that became much easier. But anyway, so let's try to dive in. Let's try to disable our flight mode. So maybe we could kill this squid right over here. And yeah, the lag though. But anyway, so well, let's try it again. I hope I can show you guys on how this actually works. And I think I forgot the squidding. Yeah, this is very important, right? Anyway, so let's try this again. And yeah, I think that can be, this can already considered as a successful one, right? But anyway, so of course I have to show you guys what's our progress in our base, and so far I'm totally happy of what we have accomplished here. And of course I already have placed another portal in this section right over here because, well, off cam I already have moved in most of our stuff from our temporary base, and also I've done this section right over here which I actually left undone during the last episode. And of course I also have organized most of our stuff, so let's go to our storage area. So well, this is not actually the way. The stairs is right over here, Mikey. But anyway, so well, here's our storage area which I already have placed some item frames in order for us to, well, easily determine the contents of these chests, and we still have some empty chests, of course. Well, of course, we are going to fill this stuff with more stuff in the long run. And I also have already set up our enchanting area right over here, which I actually use. Well, this is where we enchant our trident, right? Of course, we are also near in our XP farm right over here, which is, well, very convenient for us to do some enchantments. And of course, well, I also have done digging. Well, not that much though. Well, like I said from the last episode, we are going to dig here up to level 5 because we are going to have our sheep mining area right over here. Of course, I'm just going to do that from time to time. And yes, so well, for this episode, of course, well, we are going to continue building in our base right over here, the Gardens of Periona. And of course, we're now on the 2nd level. So basically, like I said, we are also going to have our tree farm started over here. On this side, of course, we are going to have the dark oak, and on the other side, we are going to have the acacia. Of course, well, we still have a lot of things to do for our garden right over here. And of course, well, let's start doing it, right? So for the first part of this episode, we are going to finish all of our farms here in the Gardens of Periona. Well, I'm trying to fill the flooring here in the 2nd level, and probably on the 2nd part of this episode, we are going back to the 1st level where we are going to work on our mini farms. Well, I cannot call them the micro farms because they're not the most compact or the smallest farm designs that you can ever get for those stuff. So basically, that's for the latter part of this episode. Well, the first thing or the first stuff that we need to do aside from this tree farm, we are also going to have our red mushroom farm, which I think could help us to collect more mushroom stems. But for the red polka dot block from those mushrooms, I think it's just nice to have, right? But anyway, so well, we are also going to have our netherwart farm, which I'm planning to place them near the nether portal, and we are also going to have our bamboo farm for our scaffolding needs. Well, and now I actually find the bamboo scaffolds very useful. I actually use them more often now. And lastly, I think on the 2nd level, we are also going to have our chorus plant farm because I think the idea for our shop that we are going to have in the town center, we are going to sell some lighting stuff like the sea lanterns, the end rods, the glow stones, and the normal lanterns that what we have for the Minecraft Minecraft 1.14. So basically, starting from now, we are going to collect chorus fruit. Probably, of course, we are going to need that to make more end rods. And probably after we have done this Gardens of Periona, we are going to build our blaze farm, which actually we have a blaze spawner near our nether portal in this base on the other side of the nether. Of course, we're actually gonna need more of those stuff in order for us to get more, to craft more end rods, right? So, well, about the mini farms, for this episode, of course, we are going to have a sugarcane farm, a cactus farm, and a flower farm in a mini farm, design. So for, well, at least we can have them at least whenever we need them, right? So basically, as much as possible, I'm gonna try to make some tutorials on those mini farms. Well, the idea or the mechanics of those farms are really common or basic. Well, there'll gonna be some sort of tutorials, so at least I can share you some stuff, right? Well, I think that's it for this episode. So, well, of course, we still have to work for those stuff. But anyway, so, well, I'm just going to continue doing this and I'll be back. Well, I have done on this section right over here, including the paths on the side, but I have a change of plan. So instead of having the dark oak over here, we're going to have the acacia because the other side right over there is a little smaller compared to what we have here. So since the dark oak produces more wood, we are going to have lesser trees on that side and more acacia trees on this side because acacia has lesser wood, right? And on those section right over there, that's where we're going to have the bamboo farm. And of course, as well as the chorus plant, we are going to have it on that corner. And on this side, we are going to have our red mushroom farm. So basically that's the plan. So I still need to fill this area with some dirt blocks similar to what we have done on the other side. But anyway, so well, let's just continue doing this. And so we already have placed our red mushroom farm, our dark oak farm, and as well as the acacia and the bamboo on that side. But apparently there's a bit of a problem because I think the drop rates for the sapling for this dark oak are a little less compared to what we used to have before. I'm not sure if it is a bug or something, but we need to get more dark oak sampling in somewhere. I think there's a roof forest biome near the town center, so probably we should pass that area. And I also forgot to mention about this netherwart farm right over here. So basically, we already got our netherwart farm in this area or in this section right over here. And of course, this acacia, well, I had this in the diagonal formation because I think it could fit more these trees with this form. I think so. I hope so, right? But anyway, so, well, of course, well, that's a little bit of a lag. But anyway, so we already got our bamboo farm right over here. And I totally forgot to place one block right over here. Oh my god. But anyway, so, well, I'll just place a block there later. And of course, the next thing that we have to have is the chorus plant farm right over here in this section. Of course, we're going to need some end stones and as well as some chorus fruit or the flower in order to plant more of those chorus plants. But anyway, so I'm gonna prep up for a little adventure. But anyways, I'll be back. And so let's have a little break from talking and I'm going to do this mini adventure of ours in the form of a montage. But anyway, so, well, let's go, right? And so that's our very quick adventure going to the end. Well, that's actually only took me around 20 minutes. So that's pretty quick. So now we're back safely at home, and now it's time to plant this chorus plant. And yes, I'll be back. And so this looks pretty amazing, right? So now we got this chorus plant, these bamboos, and of course the acacia and the dark oak and the red mushroom and the netherwarts on the second platform or second level. So now it's time to move on to the next segment of our episode. So basically we are starting to build our mini farm. So we got our sugarcane and as well as our cactus farm right over here. And as well as on the other side, we are going to have our flower farms or what we so-called dye farms. So first thing that we are going to build is this sugarcane farm right over here. So first we are going to set up the collection system using minecart hoppers that will go back and forth in our rails in order to collect all of those sugar canes from our sugarcane farm. So first, let's place these redstone blocks on this part right over here so at least we can power the rails and to keep the minecart hoppers on moving. So basically this is gonna be a bit of a challenge, but probably I think most of our farms is going to be in these diagonal formations. So well, just to have something like, you know, a aesthetics. So basically we are going to have this formation, and let's place this last couple of power rails. And the next thing that we have to do is to contain this. So we are going to use some glasses and as well as these smooth stones in order to block this this section right over here, so at least the minecart hoppers will continuously go back and forth in order to collect those drops. So let's place this minecart hopper right over here, and this should work perfectly fine going back and forth. So well, the next thing that we have to do is to contain this, so at least we can secure this against the mobs that can't stop these minecart hoppers from moving, right? And so we got these minecart secured and of course contained, so at least we can prevent this from stopping. So the next thing that we have to do is to place the sand where we are going to plant the sugarcane. So basically we have already tested this in the testing world, so we have to put the sand on this section right over here, so at least the sugarcane will be efficiently collected by the minecart hoppers. And we also need to place these stone stairs on the backside right over here where we are going to put the waters. Of course, we cannot plant the sugarcanes without the water, right? So let's place some blocks right over here so at least we can, you know, reduce the spawn rate of those mobs. So let's put some stairs on this section. So basically all of the sides of these sands, of course these are pretty necessary, and we also need to place some blocks on this side right over here to contain the water so it will not flow outside, and also same as on this side. So the next thing that we have to do is to, of course, to fill those stairs with water. We'll think for Minecraft 1.13 update, so at least well, we can actually put some waters on these stairs right over here, which instantly actually contain these waters, so at least it will not go anywhere. And so we already have placed these waters. Of course, these are pretty necessary because we need this in order to plant those sugar canes. And now we're just hiding these waters using these sea lanterns, of course, for just cosmetics and as well as for lighting. So the next thing that we have to place are the pistons on top of these sea lanterns that will harvest the sugar canes that will eventually grow. So well, we have this some sort of like formation in the diagonal formation. Well, these pistons will be triggered by an observer in one of the sugarcane. So once that sugarcane has reached up to the third sugarcane or 3 levels high, these pistons will be triggered. So well, let's place this on this direction. So all of the pistons are now in place. So well, we also need to put another level of blocks. And so we now have the right space for our sugarcanes to grow. That's the reason why it's 3 block high. So basically now we can already plant these sugar canes, and of course those waters are out of sight. So well, it looks pretty cool, right? So now we have this sugar cane, and the next thing that we have to work on is the observer and as well as its connection to all of the sticky pistons. So the one of the reasons why we also have this block on the top in order for us to be able to connect the redstone line from this observer right over here. The direction of this observer has to be in this direction, and now we have to place a block on the top of the sugar cane in order to contain this. So basically this is also like a lossless sugarcane farm, and I fell. Well, it's also a good thing that we can get those temporary blocks, right? But anyways, so well, we also need to connect this later on on a redstone line. Of course, once the observer has detected that the sugarcane on the first part has grown, it will actually push all of these pistons on the down part right over here on the second level of this block. So basically, it's a basic redstone contraption, and I think we have to extend the redstone signal on this section, because up to here, the redstone signal has to be extended because it can only accommodate up to 15 blocks, right? Or 15 redstone. I think it has to be here, so at least we can already connect those piston on this part right over here. So basically, I'll just continue doing this, and of course, we also need to contain this. And so we already have contained our sugar canes with some glasses, so at least the sugar cane will not go anywhere. And I also made an adjustment right over here because this observer has to be on the same level in order to connect this redstone line that will go around. So basically, I think we're done here. So let's test this out. So I just left this space right over here open, so at least we can test it. So basically, this will trigger all of those pistons once this sugarcane has grown. So let's try to test it. So just think of it that this sugarcane has grown up to third level, and all of those sugarcane will be harvested. So basically, that's how it works. So well, we're actually done for the sugarcane farm. So now we got one farm done, and yes, so this should also collect all of those sugar canes that will be harvested from this farm. So we're done here, So now it's time to move on our next farm, which is going to be our very simple cactus farm that we're going to place over here. And well, not much of a redstone stuff, but of course we also need that, right? And so I already have set up the collection system for the sugarcane farm. So basically, we are just going to use waters in order to push all of those cactus or cacti to these hoppers right over here to the chest over there. So basically, we are going to place some half slabs on this part right over here. This is where we are going to place some sand in order to, we have to say hi to Headtrip. So let's place another right over here. So basically, this is not gonna be the most efficient farm that you'll ever know, because we don't need that much cactus in our builds for now, because I think we have the steampunk theme. So probably 3 of these cacti are enough for our needs. And of course, we are also going to use these fences in order for these cacti to be harvested. So eventually, once this cactus has grown, it will be automatically harvested, and we have to place the last cactus over here. So well, I think this is done. We'll just need to contain this with some glasses, and well, this is pretty quick, right? So now it's time to move on our next farm, which is going to be the flower farm. So basically, we already have set up our collection system, which similar to what we have done, but this is not yet done because we still need to place some minecart hoppers on top of these hoppers in order for us to collect all of those flowers from the grass blocks where it is actually planted. So let's place these minecart hoppers on top of these rails, and we also need to remove these rails on the bottom in order for us to push a grass blocks in these minecart hoppers. So basically, we need to push these grass blocks to those minecart hoppers using a piston. Let's place these grass blocks, and now, so we have to push this to those minecart hoppers. Take note that you have to remove the rails in order to do this. So let's place a piston right over here, not in this direction. It has to push the grass block. So let's place a temporary block on this part right over here, so we can able to place this piston on this direction. So now let's place a button and activate this piston. And I think that's Guardian glitch, I think. Well, that's kind of annoying though. I've been experiencing this bug all my life. But anyways, I just need to do this 2 more times and I'll be back. And so now we have successfully pushed these grass blocks to this minecart hopper. So basically, this is where we are also going to plant the flowers. So now it's time to work on the redstone part of this mini farm. So first, we are going to place these comparators in these directions. And the next thing is we have to place place some dispensers in this direction that will dispense all of the bone meals in order to farm those flowers that we're going to plant here. So basically we need to put some bone meals in this dispenser later on in order for this to work. So the next thing that we have to place is the redstone clock. So first we are going to place a piston right over here, a sticky piston that will handle one of the observers, and we also need to connect all of these comparators to that sticky piston right over there by placing these redstone dots right over here, and as well as for this comparator right over here. And the next thing that we have to place is one of the observers for the redstone clock that will trigger those dispensers. So first we have to place an observer facing that direction and another observer on this part right over here facing on this direction. And the next thing that we have to do is to properly connect this by placing some blocks on this part right over here that will actually connect those sticky pistons to that sticky piston below this observer. So we also need to place some blocks right over here. So the last thing that we have to do is to connect the redstone clock, these two observers, to these dispensers right over here. So basically we have to place some redstone dust in this manner. So I think this is already done. So basically this is the redstone part. So once we put an item right over here, it will automatically be dispensed. So well, of course we also need to contain this, and as you can see the flower has also been collected. So now it's time to plant these flowers. So basically we are going to have 3 flowers. So 1 rose for red dyes and yellow for sunflower, and as well as lilac. So those are the colors that we are going to need for the meantime, and then we're almost done. And so we're actually done for this farm right over here. So basically this actually works like a vending machine. So instead of using coin, we're actually using some bone meal. So if we put like half a stack of bone meal right over on each of this dispenser, these should have 32 of these flowers in our from this farm. So basically if we check this storage right over here, we got 32 rows, and we should also have 32 sunflowers, and as well as these should also be like of course 32 lilacs. So well, as you can see, this is something like this vending machine, right? So the last farm that we have to do is the most difficult one, which is going to be the cocoa bean farm. So basically, of course, we just need this jungle wood right over here, and as you can see, we still have some exposed part of this redstone contraption on the top part right over here, but it doesn't matter. So basically, well, and that's kind of lag though. But anyway, so let's place these cocoa beans on this jungle wood right over here. I think this is the most difficult farm that we have done for this episode, and we're actually done, right? So basically, I think let's check this out. So basically, this already has a 1 batch, and for this cactus or cacti farm, let's check it out, and we only got 1 though. Basically because we only have like 3 cactus, and I think it's only been like 50 minutes since I have done that. So basically we're done here. We have done a lot for this episode. For the next episode, we are already going to work on the ceiling. Of course, I'm excited to finish this Gardens of Periona. Well, basically we're done for this episode. So well, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment, please leave a like, and make sure to subscribe. This has been Mikey Perion, and I'll see you guys next time.